The plaintiff is calling for the church to come clean, to be transparent. The lawsuit claims dozens of priests were transferred to other states and parts of the world with no public disclosure of their pasts. Among them, 4 priests accused of sexual abuse who worked in the Diocese of Monterey. Following in the footsteps of the Pennsylvania grand jury report, which identified hundreds of predator priests, lawyers in California compiled their own list as part of a lawsuit against every diocese in the state. They claim the Archdiocese of Los Angeles follows a similar playbook to cover up widespread abuse by priests.
And that playbook is to move, to transfer, to hide, to conceal, and keep secret not only the identities of all the offenders, but their histories and the documents that reflect their crimes over the years.
309 priests were named, including 4 that once worked in the Diocese of Monterey. Lynn Cafoe is accused of abusing at least 15 victims throughout his career, starting in 1975. In 1991, he was removed from ministry for treatment and then reportedly moved around before working in the Diocese of Monterey from 2001 to 2003. He was laicized in 2006 and died 3 years later. Frank Luke Dalton allegedly sexually abused a male student at a high school in Michigan. He was transferred to California in the 60s and worked at Palma High School. He also held summer camps for the migrant labor camp children in Gonzales through the 90s. He died in 2001. Gregory Coretta was accused of sexually abusing an 11-year-old boy in 1973 at a church in Pismo Beach. He was reportedly arrested in 2002 for child molestation, but those charges were dropped in 2003. He died 3 years later. George Fatou allegedly abused a student at a school in Canoga Park in 1973, where he later became principal. In 1991, he was accused of failing to alert police about a boy who was molested by another priest in Salinas. He reportedly worked in Seaside before leaving for a church in Cayucos, where records show he currently works. The plaintiff in the case is a Southern California man named Tom Emmons, who says he was sexually assaulted as a boy by a priest who was a family friend. That priest is now deceased, and the abuse was never addressed.
This lawsuit is really the only opportunity I have at this point in time to find justice, not just for myself, but to bring all the victims that are in the shadows out and to help them moving forward.
And I should note those details about those priests were compiled by the law firm. Action News has not independently verified them, but the Diocese of Monterey has issued a response saying, quote, "The allegation that the California bishops are in a conspiracy to conceal child abuse is simply absurd. The allegations outlined in the complaint involve matters that occurred 40 years ago, before current policies and safeguards were enacted to protect children, young people, and vulnerable adults in their care." Now, the late Bishop Richard Garcia was named in the lawsuit. He died in July, so a spokesperson for the diocese says the Archdiocese of Los Angeles will be primarily handling the response to the lawsuit. Erin.
All right, thank you, Bianca. And the Archdiocese of Los Angeles also issued a statement that read in part, "The Archdiocese has acknowledged and taken responsibility for the failures and mistakes in the way abuse cases were handled in the past, and instituted a strict zero-tolerance policy to ensure that allegations of abuse would be reported to authorities and that anyone found to have committed abuse would be held accountable and permanently removed from ministry in the Archdiocese."